Boy, oh boy, do I have some good news. We have a really entertaining video today. If you're new to the channel, my name is Cole. I am a 23-year-old farmer, gravedigger, and YouTuber, and I'm always getting people asking me, what does a typical day look like for Cole the Cornstar? So I figured, you know what? I'll just show you. So first things first, let's go work out. It's not that I really enjoy working out in the morning, it's just I find that if I don't get it done in the morning, if stuff comes up at the end of the day, I tend to push off the workout. We're gonna try our best to keep this around half an hour. Good morning, sun. Good morning, windmills. I should probably get my sprinkler started. There we go. I could sit and watch the sprinkler for hours. It's just really satisfying. And normally I wouldn't be this concerned about watering my lawn, but a few weeks ago I completely reseeded the entire thing because I just got done rebuilding my yard after working on it all summer, and I really want it to grow. As long as the weather keeps holding, it should turn out pretty good. If anyone's new to the channel, let me introduce you to my 1917 farmhouse. I like to call it my farm mansion because there's a ginormous attic, 5 bedrooms upstairs, 5 rooms on the middle floor, and 5 rooms in the basement. So to me, a house that has 15 rooms in it is a mansion. So besides farming, one of the things I really like to do is renovate. The biggest renovation over the summer was my front yard. This used to be my grandfather's house, and he passed away just over 2 years ago. So I've been living here about 1.5 years. Since I moved in, I cleaned out the entire house. Oh, hey, there's a nail. That's a big one. And then we started to reside the outside and start building a wraparound porch around the house. Then we got smacked by 120-mile-an-hour winds, and we had other buildings get destroyed, so the house got put on the back burner. Now I could talk renovation plans for hours, but I have stuff that I need to get done today. I have some really cool stuff I want to do to the house, and I have some really cool stuff I want to do to the farm. But this is a day in the life video, and we have stuff that we have to do, so just know, if you want to see some really cool projects happening around here, you better hit the subscribe button so that way you'll be notified and you can stay along for the journey. I'm talking things like fully redoing the house, an underground movie theater, and a car wash. That's just a couple things. So now that we got the wake up stuff taken care of, I like to take 30 minutes out of my morning first thing to read the Bible. I read Romans 11 through 13 and then Proverbs chapter 8. If you're not familiar with the Bible, Proverbs is a book of wisdom. And then Romans is actually a letter written to the Romans from a man named Paul. And if we want to understand who Paul is, his life story is written in the book of Acts. Dad should be here in a few minutes. We'll have our little morning meeting. In the meantime, I'm gonna eat rice, hamburger, peas, throw a little habanero hot sauce on there. Usually in the morning once Dad gets here, we have a little 30-minute meeting or so kind of to discuss the day. Or if we have any ideas that we want to discuss with each other, this is the time we kind of do it. So now I need to sit down and edit a video. I do this 6 days a week. A video can take me anywhere from 1.5 hours to 4 hours depending on the flow of the video and what's all in it. I just got started editing and then I got a call from Jamie, our crop guy, and so what we were doing is we were coordinating some soil sampling being done in our fields. We want to see what levels of nutrients we have in our fields where, so that way we can correspond that with a variable fertilizer application. So some of our areas that have really high fertility doesn't need as much fertilizer, but the areas that are lower needs more. So instead of just putting a base layer across everything, we're able to kind of specialize in different areas of the field, so our dollar is able to go further. Typically, I like to edit really early in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, but today was my workout day. I work out twice a week, so it kind of got pushed back a little bit. It's nice editing super early in the morning because you don't have all the distractions. Speaking of being bothered, I just got another text message from our marketing lady saying I need to pay up some margin money on our hedge account. Bye-bye $2,400. Back to editing. That took a lot longer than it should have. It's just after 2 o'clock now, actually. I'm gonna take this semi out to the field. They need an extra semi, and then we're gonna take over in the combine. What I wanna know is why they put this nice steel bar right here, so that way when you get out, you smoke your knee on it. I did it getting in, and I did it getting out. I should probably roll this window up. Sable, why'd you have to park so far away? I did have to skip lunch today because I need to be swapping Dad out. Dad has to go take care of some cemetery work. So since my business this morning took longer than expected, it's a sacrifice I'm gonna have to make. Ah, Sable sees me. So we have 80 acres of corn over here, and this is actually the Dynagrow field. Afternoon, Sable. Morning. Smells like Reese's peanut butter cups in here. You know, the hardest part about doing YouTube is figuring out how to carry all your gear around. I was just informed that we have to leave the auger out because we have a hydraulic line that is leaking when we move the auger. First pass across the field and we already have bad news and I just smacked my head. So the chain that goes onto this thing, they're kind of notorious for getting loose throughout the day. Usually you have to get out at least once and tighten it. Not really the end of the world, but the chain popped off and then got wrapped around this and it bent it. So now my reel's not gonna work. And my auger also doesn't work. I suppose let's give it a shot. For reasons like that is why we have the reel. I've made it 50 feet. We take something like the auger going out and bursting a hydraulic line, so we have to leave the auger out. Like, that stuff happens. This combine has 5,200 hours on it. Stuff is going to break. Then we had corn that is basically flat to the ground. Little annoying because you have to go slower and it's just a lot of stuff going on. You're paying attention to a lot of things. It just stresses the driver out a lot more. And then we had little stuff like this onto it. Plus the fact that this field is yielding 113 bushels an acre. There's a lot of things we could get really down about, but you know what? We're not going to. We're gonna look at this as a positive and know when that starts getting loose, we need to get out and tighten it right away. And as for the corn being down and yielding bad, those factors were out of our control. And as for the hydraulic hose, we're just buying a new combine. Actually, I'm kidding. We're just gonna buy a new hydraulic hose. I guess another positive is we're only 2 miles from a place that can get us a new chain. Putting a chain on is about as simple as it gets. And while I'm out here, I'm also gonna measure the clearance between these row feelers to make sure that they're adjusted correctly. Because if those are off, the auto steer is gonna be wonky. Should be good to go now. Got a new chain on. Got the row feelers adjusted. I'm down here taking a quick look at what kind of job the combine's doing going through this down corn. When corn is flat on the ground like this, it's hard to get the snoots under it to lift it up. And because of that, the combine misses it and we leave yield on the table. So far, this field is yielding 113 bushels an acre, but looking at these ears, these are not 113 bushel ears. These are some actually pretty good size ears. Running the math on ears like those, we're looking at corn that's well over 205 bushels an acre. The down stuff is just frustrating. But there is one good thing about this. This corn is coming in at 15.2% moisture. That means we don't have to dry it, and that saves a lot of expense. They say if you take a square foot and you find 4 kernels in it, that means you're losing a bushel an acre. So if I find an ear of corn per square foot, using the numbers on these ears, that means we're losing 125 bushels an acre. And that would put us a lot closer to our 230 bushel an acre average. But anyway, that's enough mathy number stuff. Let's get back to combining. There's trouble. Here's your standard issued Pit Viper safety glasses. So I accidentally bumped my auger that I wasn't supposed to bump because we just lost a bunch more hydraulic fluid. So my sensor went off saying we were low on hydraulic fluid. Cooper showed up, we need to tighten a filter and I need to put in 5 gallons of hydraulic fluid. It's pretty rare if we have a day where something doesn't break. The severity of the break can range from a 5-cent part to a $5,000 part. Just depends what breaks. For example, if you blow one of these tires, you're talking $2,500 plus being down for at least a solid half a day, and we're done for the night due to a breakdown. Today we only got about 39 acres of corn picked, but we're running into a little issue with the hydraulic line that we had leaking under the auger. It's just leaking too much, so we're just gonna end up dumping gallons and gallons of hydraulic oil in it, and it's not gonna fix anything. So we decided to stop, just bring it home. We're gonna get it cleaned up and then address the problem by fixing the hose. But I had to run back here to the farm to get some more hydraulic oil for the combine because we need to drive it home. The combine's driven off hydraulics, and if it's low on hydraulics, we could burn up the hydraulic pump. And I don't wanna do that because those are like $5,000. Ow, you dirty dog. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. So, what do you guys do in this situation? My funnel's full and my bucket's full. Oh yeah, she's leaking pretty good. Since that area is covered in dust and hydraulic oil, we're gonna power wash it off, then we're gonna pull it here in the shop, get that hose pulled off tonight so that way in the morning we can get a new one made. Hey Zach, how you doing, buddy? It's a lot nicer to work on stuff when it's clean than when it's dirty. Believe it or not, this is pretty much what we typically do at 9 o'clock on a Thursday night. Fix what we broke that day. Not a very fun job. Zach, what are you doing? There is a fundamental rule to breakdowns around here, and that is they happen in the worst possible spot at the worst possible time. This was just a long and skinny hose. We don't have a hose making machine, so we'll have to take it into the shop in the morning, have them make one for us. Just got home, it's 10:05 p.m. Sounds like somebody left the leg on. I gotta shut some lights and doors. Night-night grain tester. Now typically what I like to do when I get home at night, I run down and grab the sprinkler and I turn it on and I move it to a new area. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Now that we're finally in the house, I have to get all the cameras ready and all the SD cards downloaded onto the computer. And while that stuff was downloading, I ate supper. It's just about midnight, so thanks for tuning along to this 19-hour day with me. This is pretty much my average day, so now I need to shower and go to bed.